हेलो दोस्तों, बिगनर्स पॉइंट में आपका स्वागत है। और अभी हम कर रहे हैं इकोनॉमिक्स। और चैप्टर 1 से लेकर 6 तक नहीं देखा है तो फिर पहले की वीडियोस पड़े हैं प्लेलिस्ट में, देख सकते हैं। चैप्टर नंबर 7 स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, इंडेक्स नंबर्स। इसके बाद आ जाते हैं सीधा इंट्रोडक्शन। यू हैव लर्न इन द प्रीवियस चैप्टर्स हाउ समरी मेजर्स कैन बी obtained फ्रॉम अ mass of data. Now you will learn how to obtain summary measures of change in a group of related variables. Ravi goes to the market after a long gap. He finds that the prices of most commodities have changed. Some items have become costlier while others have been cheaper. यानी कि कुछ महंगे हो गए और कुछ चीज़ें सस्ती हो गई. On his return from the market, he tells his father about the change in price of each and every item he bought. It is bewildering of both to both. Bewildering मतलब विमस्कारी. The industrial sector consists of many subsectors. Each of them is changing. The output of some subsectors are rising, while it is falling in some subsectors. The changes are not uniform. Description of the individual rates of change will be difficult to understand. Can a single figure summarize these changes? Look at following cases. Case 1. An industrial worker was earning a salary of 1000 in 1982. Today earns 12,000. Can his standard of living be said to have risen 12 times during this period? By how much should his salary be raised so that he is as well off as before? Case 2. You must be reading about the Sensex in the newspapers. The Sensex crossing 8,000 points is indeed greeted with Europea. When Sensex dipped 600 points recently, it eroded investors' wealth by rupees 1,53,690 crores. What exactly is Sensex? Case 3. The government says inflation rate will not accelerate due to the rise in the price of petroleum products. How does one measure inflation? These are a sample of questions you confront in your daily life. A study of the index number helps in analyzing these questions. What is an index number? An index number is a statistical device for measuring changes in the magnitude of a group of related variables. It represents the general trend of diverging ratios from which it is calculated. It is a measure of the average change in a group of related variables over two different situations. The comparison may be between like categories such as persons, schools, hospitals, etc. An index number also measures changes in the values of the variables such as price of a specified list of commodities, volume of production in different sectors of an industry, production of various agricultural crops, cost of living, etc. Conventionally, index numbers are expressed in terms of percentage of the two periods. The period with which the comparison is to be made is known as the base period. The value in the base period is given the index number 100. If you want to know how much the price has changed in 2005 from the level in 1990, then 1990 becomes the base. The index number of any period is in proportion with it. Thus, an index number of 250 indicates that the value is 2.5 times that of the base period. Price index numbers measure and permit comparison of the prices of certain goods. Quantity index numbers measure the changes in the physical volume of production, construction, or employment. Though price index numbers are more widely used, a production index is also an important indicator of the level of the output in the economy. Construction of an index number. In the following sections, the principles of constructing an index number will be illustrated through price index numbers. Let us look at the following example. Example number 1, calculation of simple Aggregative price index. टेबल नंबर 7.1 कमोडिटी ए बी सी डी, चार कमोडिटी हैं. बेस पीरियड ऑफ प्राइस दो, पाँच, चार और दो. करंट पीरियड प्राइस चार, छः, पाँच और तीन. परसेंटेज चेंज कितना है? 100% इसका चेंज हो गया, दो से चार हो गया. 20% इसका पाँच से छः हो गया. 25 इसका चार से पाँच हो गया. और 50% इसका दो से तीन हो गया. एज यू डिजर्व as you observe in this example, the percentage change are different for every commodity. If the percentage changes were the same for all items, a single measure would have been sufficient to describe the change. However, the percentage changes differ, and reporting the percentage change for every item will be confusing. It happens when the number of commodities is large, which is common in any real market situation. A price index represents these changes by a single numerical measure. There are two methods of constructing an index number. It can be computed by the aggregative method and by the method of averaging relatives. कौन कौन सी मेथड? एग्रीगेटिव मेथड और एवरेजिंग मेथड. The aggregative method. The formula for a simple aggregative price index is P01 sigma P1 divided by sigma P0 into 100. P1 or P0 indicate the price of the commodity in the current period and base period respectively. Means it is current period and that is base period. Using the data from example 1, the simple aggregative price index is P01 4 plus 6 plus 5 plus 3 divided by 2 plus 5 4 plus 4 plus 2 into 100. Answer is 138.5. Here price is said to have risen by 38.5%. Do you know that such an index is of limited use? The reason is that the units of measurement of prices of various commodities are not the same. It is unweighted because the relative importance of the items has not been properly reflected. The items are treated as having equal importance or weight. But what happens in reality? In reality, the items purchased differ in order of importance. Food items occupy a large proportion of our expenditure. In that case, an equal rise in the price of an item with large weight and that of an item with low weight will have different implications for the overall change in the price index. The formula for a weight aggregative price index P01 sigma P1 Q0 sigma P0 Q0 into 100. An index number becomes a weighted index when the relative importance of items is taken care of. Here weights are quantity weights. To construct a weighted aggregative index, a well-specified basket of commodities is taken and its worth each year is calculated. It thus measures the changing values of a fixed aggregate of goods. Since the total value changes with a fixed basket, the change is due to price change. Various methods of calculating a weighted aggregative index use different baskets with respect to time. Example number 2, calculation of weighted aggregative price index. Commodity A, B, C, D. Base price P0, period quantity Q0, current price P1, period quantity Q1. A का कितना है? 2, 5, 4, 2, फिर 10, 12, 20, 15, 4, 6, 5, 3, 5, 10, 15 और 10. P01 sigma P1 Q0 sigma P0 Q0 into 100. इसका आंसर फॉर्मूले के बाद क्या आ जाएगा? 135.3. दिस मेथड यूज द बेस पीरियड क्वांटिटीज एज वेट्स. अ वेटेड एग्रीगेटिव प्राइस इंडेक्स यूजिंग base period quantities has weight is also known as less Perez price index. It provides an explanation to the question that if the expenditure on base period basket of commodities was rupees 100, how much should be the expenditure in the current period on the same basket of commodities? As you can see here, the value of base period quantities has risen by 35.3% due to price rise. Using base period quantities as weights, the price is said to have risen by 35.3%. Since the current period quantities differ from the base period quantities, the index number using current period weights gives a different value of the index number P01 sigma P1 Q1 डिवाइड बाय सिग्मा P0 Q1 इंटू 100। इसका पूरा टोटल करेंगे तो आंसर कितना आ जाएगा 132.1। It uses the current period quantities as weights. A weighted aggregative price index using current period quantities as weight is known as the purchase price index. It helps in answering the question that if the current period basket of commodities was consumed in the base period and if we were spending rupees 100 on it, how much should be the expenditure in current period on the same basket of commodities? Purchase price index of 132.1 is interpreted as a price rise of 32.1%. Using current period weights, the price is said to have risen by 32.1%. Method of averaging relatives. When there is only one commodity, the price index is the ratio of the price of the commodity in the current period to that in the base period, usually expressed in percentage terms. The method of averaging relatives takes the average of these relatives when there are many commodities. The price index number using price relatives is defined as P01 1 upon n sigma P1 P0 into 100, where P1 P0 indicate the price of the ith commodity in the current period and base period respectively. The ratio P1 upon P0 into 100 is also referred to as price relative of the commodity. N stands for the number of commodities in the current example. P0 1 upon 4, 4 divided by 2, total आंसर करेंगे तो 149 आंसर आ जाएगा. Thus the prices of the commodities have risen by 49%. The weighted index of price relatives is weighted arithmetic mean of price relatives defined as P01 sigma ni, ये पूरा फॉर्मूला हो जाएगा where जहाँ पे W is weight, W क्या है weight है. In a weighted price relative index, weights may be determined by the proportion and percentage of expenditure on them in total expenditure during the base period. It can also refer to current period depending on the formula used. These are essentially the value shares of different commodities in the total expenditure. In general, the base period weight is preferred to the current period weight. It is because calculating the weight every year is inconvenient. It also refers to the changing values of different baskets. They are strictly not comparable. Example 3 shows the type of information one needs for calculating weighted price index. Example 3 calculation of weighted price index relatives index commodity A B C D weight in percentage 40 30 20 10 base year price in rupees 2 5 4 2 करंट ईयर इन रुपीज 4 6 5 3 प्राइस रिलेटिव 200 120 125 150. द वेटेड प्राइस इंडेक्स इज ये फॉर्मूला लगा देंगे जो पहले पढ़ा था और आंसर कितना आ जाएगा 156. The weighted price index is 156. The price index has risen by 56%. The values of the unweighted price index and the weighted price index differ as they should. The higher rise in the weighted index is due to the doubling of the most important item A in example 3. Some important index numbers consumer price index. Consumer price index CPI, also known as the cost of living index, measures the average change in retail prices. Consider the statement that the CPI for industrial workers 2001 is equal to 100 in 277 in December 2014. What does this statement mean? It means that if the industrial worker was spending rupees 100 in 2001 for a typical basket of commodities, he needs 277 in December 2014 to be able to buy an identical basket of commodities. It is not necessary that he and she buys the basket. What is important is whether he has the capability to buy it. Example number 4 construction of consumer price index number CPI sigma WR divided by sigma W is equal to 9786.8500 97.86. The exercise shows that the cost of living has declined by 2.14%. What does an index larger than 100 indicate? It means a higher cost of living necessitating an upward adjustment in wages and salaries. The rise is equal to the amount it exceed 100. If the index is 150, 50% upward adjustment is required. The salaries of the employees have to be raised by 50%. अब आ जाते हैं टेबल 7.4. आइटम फूड फ्यूल क्लोथ रेंट मिसलेनियस. वेट इन परसेंट डब्ल्यू 35%, 10%, 20%, 15% और 20%. बेस पीरियड प्राइस 150%, 25 रुपीज़ में 150, 25, 75, 30 और 40. करंट पीरियड प्राइस 150 था, करंट क्या है 145 रुपीज़. फार्मूला लगा के परसेंटेज 96.67%. ये कितना हो जाएगा 388.3.45. इस तरीके से अगर टोटल करेंगे तो कितना निकल के आ जाएगा, ये आ जाएगा 9786.85. ठीक है, अब ये करेंगे कल.